I thought Eliot Wolf had some digestible items today, comments that we will be digesting and discussing. But that may have been among the most notable, Mazz, because I think, I wonder, is it a giveaway there on a couple different fronts. So that's where we're going to start with your thoughts. But, Mazz, what are yours? What's your main takeaway? You can start with that comment or Eliot Wolf in general.
No, I'll start with that comment. I mean, it sounds to me like they're leaning quarterback, and I'm giving away a little bit of some of the other things he said. But at one point he said, that most of the quarterbacks in the league come in the first round. So to me, that was also further indication that is the way they're leaning. That the quarterbacks are tough. I mean, I'm happy to hear that. I believe in the leadership, I guess. There are other things I have more concerned about than just that. Yeah. But, if you're asking me, did I come out of that feeling like we have a better idea of where they're going? Yes, I think they're leaning quarterback. Now, they could be playing poker, so we'll see. I will say overall, I thought Wolf's answers were short and pretty direct. There wasn't a lot of tap dancing. He made a point of saying he wasn't going to give away state secrets. So I feel like he's a little more experienced than some of the other people on that staff. And that doesn't mean that it's a lot. It just means more than the others. So he feels to me like someone who's, familiar with the landscape a little bit more than the rest of them.
Wouldn't you say it felt better about him than anyone else you've heard from down there so far?
By miles.
Yeah, there was nothing mockable. Like, that was one of my main takeaways.
It's snackable but not mockable.
Yeah, like, I don't come out of that here and, you want to get tough, you get tough guys. Like him talking about the quarterbacks. It was nothing like that. He sounds more professional and more suited for the role, and I think it's clear as day to me that they're going to be taking a quarterback, and I also think it's clear as day, based on something else that he said, that Mac Jones is out of here.
Okay, so we can get to that, but stick to the taking a quarterback, and do you feel that he's narrowing down a type, that the tough guy? It's the second time we've heard that. Who else said... Oh, Van Pelt mentioned something about toughness and leadership at that position. What do you look for at that position? And Van Pelt started with toughness and leadership. And now Wolf here is asked about the quarterback class, and he says there's a lot of tough guys there. And we got to figure out who can handle playing quarterback for the New England Patriots. Mm-hmm. So do you think there's a giveaway there that they're going to emphasize sort of toughness and leadership and those sort of intangibles over just raw talent? Is it a giveaway that they may not be in on someone like Caleb Williams, who cries in his mommy's lap, or Drake May, who's someone that we hear down in Carolina carries some of those similar traits? Is it a giveaway on that front?
So I'll tell you what, I wonder if it's any of the first three. Like, I'm not sure how tough Jaden Daniels is either. The guy's a rail.
And that second tier you hear about, I mean, Penix has dealt through and battled through 2 ACLs, right? Mm-hmm. And takes a beating and keeps going out there. And the freaking guy at Michigan, who I really don't like, just as I don't feel like he's a pro quarterback.
No, I agree. He's pretty ordinary.
Joe Scrappy College, Joe,
He's like Mac Jones.
Whatever.
He's tougher than Jones.
But he's tough and leadership and that sort of Skippy Magoo sort of thing. And Bo Nix, I know less about, but I don't know. Does that description about tough guys and leadership and who can handle playing quarterback for the New England Patriots, does that describe some quarterbacks and not the others here?
Yes, look, I honestly look at the first three and I say, well, Williams, we have all kinds of character questions about. We've heard the same thing about May, as you pointed out. And again, Jaden Daniels is listed at 6'4", and initially in college was listed at 185. Yeet. Okay, he was a rail. Now, I'm sure he's heavier than that now, but he's not exactly 230. If you look at him, he's built like Lamar Jackson, a young Lamar Jackson. Okay, so to me, now that's more physical toughness than mental toughness. That's a different thing. But to me, I don't know that I would call any of the first three guys tough. And
the next three you probably would.
Right. So there is the possibility there that he's saying, we can get someone in the mid to late first round that we'd be happy with. I would describe the other three guys as tough. So I do, look, I hope he's playing games because he should be messing with people's heads. He shouldn't be giving away his total hand. But I don't think any of those first three guys are tough.
No, especially, like, I don't know. I haven't really heard much. Maybe you guys have. You mentioned it, like, about Drake May and his lack of toughness. The other two, I mean, Daniels, it's just because of his slightness. There's certainly a lack of toughness that I've seen eyeball test alone with Caleb Williams. But, yeah, it doesn't seem to fit with those first three. I guess I just haven't heard it with May. But it would make more sense with some of these other guys. Spencer Rattler, another one, who's probably going to go later out of South Carolina, who's taken 1 million sacks, but everyone says he's tough.
So the May stuff we're getting from Cerrone Battle, who lives down in the Carolinas and follows UNC closely. And he says a lot of the local people down in Carolina say the same things about Drake May that we all say about Caleb Williams.
Okay.
Soft and diva and high maintenance and that sort of thing. So that's where we're getting that from. And I trust Cerrone Battle implicitly, as I do all of our personnel here at 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Most of them.
How about the Pats quarterback situation? More from Eliot Wolf, your new, again, de facto general manager. Number one, Jimmy. Let's hear that, please.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say there's a lot of options on the table. I'm glad you asked about Mack and Bailey. We're not going to be a program that's talking about these guys in terms of through the media. We're gonna do what's best for the team behind the scenes, and the strategy of that is going to be myself, Gerard Mayo, Matt Groh, and we're going to try to do the right thing for the team.
Okay, not a giveaway there. But what does lead one to believe that Mac Jones is done, Jim Murray, was maybe the next cut, number 3 on quarterback body language.
Body language on the field is very important at that position. You know, you don't want a guy that's throwing his hands up after a bad play, or you can see him physically, pointing at somebody, or, body language is important. Everybody's looking to the quarterback.
You're done, baby boy. I mean, how many times did you see that over the last couple of years, especially the Patricia and Judge year? Throw the effing ball, whatever it was during that Bills game.
The effing quick game sucks.
Yeah, the effing quick game sucks. How many you could look up? Just Google the term Mac Jones arms in air. There's probably 1 million photos that'll pop up. What happened? He's done. I loved hearing that. That was my favorite thing from this Eliot Wolf press conference.
Okay, so there's that. What else do we got? Mazz has thought about most quarterbacks come in the first round. Number 6, Jimmy.
Yeah, I think when you look throughout the league, that's a good question. I think when you look throughout the league, most of the quarterbacks are first rounders. I think there's exceptions to be had, like, Dak Prescott, Brock Purdy, and Tom Brady. But I think just the league-wide understanding of how important that position is and how important it is to have somebody there that can help you win games and get over the hump has changed league-wide.
Okay. Your thoughts on that?
So I thought that was sort of we're not going to do it like the last guy and think we can get him in the 5th round and then coach him up and have him be totally in the system. Like, there was at least an acknowledgement there that it's a different league and quarterbacks have a tremendous responsibility and a tremendous amount of power and influence over whether you're going to win or whether you're going to lose. So at least I think there's a good dose of reality there in terms of, what the quarterback means and where you're going to find them. Mathematically, there's no disputing what he said. The majority of them come in the first round. True. They do. So does that mean upper first, lower first, mid first? Does that mean you completely rule out top of the second? Like, now we can get into the gray areas, but they're taking a quarterback early in this draft.
Okay. I feel that too. And just that second piece, well, really the first piece that we started with, are they emphasizing toughness and leadership over the raw ability? Because they've, again, now we've had a couple different comments there, Van Pelt, and now this guy, emphasizing that. And I just, that line, we got to figure out who can handle. Give me the cut again, Jimmy, that we opened the show with, please. The one right out of the chute, number 2.
I think it's a really good year for quarterbacks. It's a really good year at a lot of positions. Like any position, we're gonna evaluate their strengths and weaknesses, determine who fits for us. We're pretty early in the process here. Like, I haven't met any of these guys. Gerard hasn't met any of these guys. So, as we continue through the process here, we'll determine what's best for the team. And one thing about the quarterbacks in this draft specifically that I'm excited about is they all look like they're really tough guys, which, is obviously great at any position, but the quarterback position especially. We have to determine, who can handle being the quarterback of the New England Patriots.
So I edited that a little bit. I can't remember what the comment in the middle was. It wasn't interesting, so I just sort of spliced to the end, but that's how we ended the exchange. We have to figure out who can handle playing quarterback for the New England Patriots. Like the previous guy couldn't, or there's some conditions here that are just, or maybe it's just a statement of the NFL. You know, you can be the man in college, but it's a different game here, and it's a different level here on a bunch of different fronts, and that's an important thing. Finding a guy who can handle it. Can Caleb Williams handle it? Because he couldn't really handle USC.
My answer would be no. But again, if we had the number one pick in Boston, okay, in New England, would I take him? Yes.
Yeah, but are they focusing on the other thing? Is that a tell? J.J. McCarthy. I like Penix. He feels like a pure pocket passer.
Might have the best arm on any of these guys.
Which I'm into. I'm fine with. And I did fall in loves there in that semifinal. I'm willing to ignore the final just for the purpose of this thing. And does he exude leadership and toughness, and can he handle playing quarterback for the New England Patriots? Can Caleb Williams not? Not that they're in range for him. I know what you're saying. But does Drake May exhibit some of the same things? And is that a tell? That second level there has a level of toughness and competitiveness and can handle New England where those others can't. That's one thing I would be gleaning and sort of mining coming off of those comments today. But there's other things to get to. Your general thoughts on him, your general thoughts on the direction of the team as they hit an all-important combine and maybe the most important draft in franchise history, or any one of them, or anyway being one of them. It's certainly up there.